Hi, good morning, students. Today we are going to start the rest of the poem, that is a photograph, which is written by Shirley Toulson. Okay, and the poem starts from some 20, 30 years later. She would laugh at the snapshot, see Betty and Dolly, she would say, and look how they dressed us for the beach, the sea holiday. Some 20, 30 years later, she would laugh at the snapshot, see Betty and Dolly, she would say, and look how they dressed us for the beach, the sea holiday. Okay, till the sea holiday. So, what he said in this passage, the snapshot, it means a photograph. And after 20 years, after 20, 30 years, she would laugh at the photograph. She would tell me to look at her cousins, Betty and Dolly, and how their parents would dress all three of them up for the beach. They would have planned to take photograph beforehand. So the next is was her past. Mine is her daughter, both we with the labored ease of loss. So WRY, it means ironic or mocking. The meaning of the word is ironic and mocking. So what he said in this passage, it's a stanza. The poet recalls the sea holiday was her mother's favorite moment from the past, while the poet's favorite moment from the past was her mother's laughter. Both the women would think about the past memories which they cannot live again. So they tried their best to adjust to what they lost. Okay, the last is now she has been dead nearly as many years as that girl lived. So, and of the circumstance, there is nothing to say at all. So, it's silence. So, here silence means a complete absence of sound. Silence, guys. So, in the above lines, the poet says that her mother died 12 years ago, the same age her mother was in the photograph. Whenever the poet thinks of her mother's death, she cannot explain what effect she has of her mother's death. Death has silenced her mother, which has also left her speechless. Okay, so this is the end of this poem. So now talking about the photograph literary devices. Whatever I am going to speak must write in your notebook, please. Photograph literary devices. So the stood still, here is a stood still and through there, stood still and through there. This both is known as alliteration. Alliteration, I think alliteration means repetition of consonant sound. This is known as also a figure of speech. Alliteration is what? Repetition of consonant sound at the beginning of two or more consecutive words. The instance of alliteration in the poem are as follows, that is known as stood still and through there. Next is my mother's terribly transit, silence. So here what he said, what the figure of speech is, use oxymoron, which means a term which contradict itself. An epithet, a phrase expressing a quality of a person. That is known as labored is. Labored is what? Labored is some kind of a phrase, but in the figure of speech, what you call epithet, phrase expressing a quality of a person or something. And moreover, I will make a video of the figure of speech, how many types of figure of speech and how can we explain the figure of speech in the poem as well. Okay, so today that's all for today. Thank you.